A woman might forget your face. She might forget the clothes you wore, even the places you went, but she will never forget the one phrase that made her heart stop. Say this, and no woman will resist you. Welcome back to Stoic Tips. Most men talk to impress, but the rare man, the unforgettable man, knows how to speak in a way that makes her feel. If you want to stop chasing women and start making them chase you, then hit that subscribe button, because today we're breaking down the hidden psychology of words that no woman can resist. 1. Recognition. The power of making her feel seen. Most men think attraction is about how good you look, how much money you got, or how smooth your lines are. But the truth, attraction often begins with something way simpler. Recognition. And I don't mean generic recognition like you're beautiful or you're hot. Every man says that. She's heard it since she was a teenager. Those words pass through her ears and vanish. They don't stick. But when you recognize her in a way that feels specific, personal, and unique, that's when her mind pauses. That's when her heart listens. Imagine you're on a walk with her, and instead of telling her, "You're gorgeous," you say, "You know what? I like the way your eyes shift when you get excited talking about something you love. It's like you're already living in that moment." That hits different. It's not just about appearance, it's about her essence. You've noticed something most people ignore. Recognition is the language of depth. It tells her, "I don't just see your surface, I see you." And that is powerful because women are starving for that kind of attention. Think about it. How often in her daily life does she feel invisible? At work, she's treated like another number. On social media, she's another face in the scroll. Even in her own relationships, sometimes people only notice her when they want something. When you step in and recognize her in a way that feels real, you're filling a gap that most men never touch. This doesn't mean you shower her with endless compliments. That's not recognition. That's noise. Real recognition is rare. It's about finding that one detail. Her laugh when she tries not to laugh. The way she brushes her hair behind her ear when she's nervous. The fire in her tone when she talks about something that matters. You take that, you mirror it back to her, and you create a memory. Why does this work? Psychology. The brain locks onto things that feel personal. When you say something generic, her brain doesn't release much. But when you highlight something unique to her, her brain fires dopamine. That moment gets bookmarked in her memory. And you get tied to that emotion. Here's the twist. Recognition without balance becomes worship, and that kills attraction. If you recognize her too much, you look like you're trying too hard. But if you sprinkle recognition in the right moments, she'll crave more of it. It's like seasoning food. Too much salt ruins the meal, but the right amount makes it unforgettable. So the next time you're with a woman, don't waste your words on the same tired lines. Don't be the guy who praises what everyone else sees. Be the man who notices the hidden details, because when you do, you'll speak straight into her soul. And that's a place no woman forgets. 2. Safety. The language of trust. A woman can find you attractive. She can laugh at your jokes. She can even enjoy your company. But if she doesn't feel safe with you, she will never fully open her heart. And when I say safety, I don't just mean physical protection. I mean emotional safety. The kind that tells her, "I can show you who I really am and you won't judge me for it." Think about how rare that is. Most men either overreact when a woman opens up or they dismiss her feelings like they're nothing. She says she's stressed and he replies, "Don't worry about it." She shares a dream and he says, "That's not realistic." What do you think that does to her? It shuts her down. It teaches her that being herself around him isn't safe. And once a woman feels unsafe, she closes the door. But when you use words that give her space, you create the opposite effect. Imagine she tells you about a rough day at work. Most guys would try to fix it. They'd say, just quit your job or don't let it bother you. But the man who understands psychology says something different. That sounds tough. I get why you'd feel that way. Simple words, nothing fancy, but it tells her your feelings make sense. And suddenly she relaxes. The truth is, women aren't always looking for solutions. Sometimes they're looking for safety in the form of understanding. When you say, I like that you can be honest with me about this, you're not just responding, you're reinforcing safety. You're telling her, there's no mask here, no pretending. That's powerful because safety is the foundation of intimacy. Here's where most men fail. They think being the nice guy equals safety. But fake niceness isn't safety. It's weakness. Safety doesn't mean agreeing with everything she says. In fact, that backfires. A man who just nods at everything is spineless. And women can sense that. Real safety is when you listen with respect, but also hold your own ground. You can say, I see your point and I respect it even though I see it differently. That shows her you're steady. You're not bending just to please. And that steadiness is safety. Now, let's talk about delivery. Safety isn't just words, it's tone. A calm, steady voice signals control. Pauses show patience. And eye contact shows presence. Even if you say the right thing, but deliver it with tension, she won't feel safe. But if your voice is calm, your body relaxed, she'll feel it deep in her nervous system. Attraction without safety is shallow. It fades fast. But attraction with safety, that grows. Because when a woman feels safe with you, she connects her sense of trust to you, and that makes her think of you long after the moment is over. 3. Possibility. Planting seeds in her imagination. One of the strongest forces in attraction is possibility. Why? Because women are naturally drawn to stories, visions, and futures that feel exciting. If recognition makes her feel seen, and safety makes her feel secure, then possibility makes her feel drawn forward. It sparks her imagination. It makes her see you not just as someone she's talking to right now, but as someone who could be part of her tomorrow. Most men live only in the moment. They talk about the food they're eating, the movie they watched, or random surface-level topics. There's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't leave a mark. It doesn't create a hook in her mind. But when you drop in phrases that point to a shared possibility, you're planting a seed that her mind will water on its own. Picture this. You're sitting with her and instead of saying, we should hang out, again sometime, you casually say, I can already see us laughing about this later. Maybe sitting at a little coffee shop down the road. That's not a plan. It's a vision. It's light, playful, and not heavy with expectation. But it pulls her imagination into the future with you in it. That's powerful psychology, because the human brain doesn't always separate imagined experiences from real ones. When you describe it vividly enough, she begins to feel like it's already happened. This is why possibility is magnetic. It's not about promising her the world. It's not about saying, I'll buy you this or we'll go there. That sounds needy and desperate. Instead, it's about painting little snapshots, short, casual phrases that leave space for her to join in. Instead of saying, we'll travel to Italy one day, you say, imagine us sitting in a small cafe in Rome, hearing music in the background. Notice the difference. One is pressure, the other is invitation. But here's the key. Possibility works best when it feels natural, not forced. If you constantly talk about the future, it comes off as fake. Women can feel when you're trying too hard. The magic is in sprinkling it, in saying it when the emotional connection is already flowing. And don't think possibility only means big romantic visions. It can be small. She tells you about her favourite food, and you say, I could totally see us arguing over the last slice of that pizza. She shares her passion, and you reply, I'd love to see you in your element. Imagine you teaching me. These are small seeds, but they pull her deeper into your presence. Why does this work? Because people invest in where they see a future. When she imagines you in her future, even lightly, you stop being just another guy. You become someone with potential, with forward movement. And that is rare. So remember this. Possibility isn't about locking her into a plan. It's about sparking her imagination. It's about leaving her with a picture that keeps replaying when you're gone. And trust me, when you say it right, she won't be able to resist thinking of you. 4. Selective validation. Compliment with precision, not desperation. Validation is one of the most misunderstood tools in attraction. Most men think the way to a woman's heart is endless praise. You're gorgeous, you're perfect, you're amazing, over and over. But let me be blunt. That doesn't build attraction. It kills it. Because when compliments are constant, they lose all value. Think about it. If a man tells every woman, you're beautiful, what does it mean when he says it to her? Nothing. It's just words he gives to anyone. But when validation is selective, intentional, and rooted in genuine observation, it becomes unforgettable. Here's the psychology behind it. Women don't want worship. They want recognition. Worship puts her above you, like you're begging for her attention. Recognition puts her beside you like equals. And that balance is magnetic. Picture 2 men. The first one says, you're so hot. The second one looks at her after she passionately explains something and says, I like how serious you get when you talk about things that matter to you. Who do you think she'll remember? The second one, because that compliment wasn't about her looks, it was about her essence. It showed he was paying attention. Selective validation means you don't just throw words around. You wait, you notice. And when the right moment comes, you deliver something so specific that it feels undeniable. Instead of you're pretty, you might say you've got this calm energy that makes people feel safe around you. Instead of you're smart, you might say, I respect how you think before you speak. It makes your words carry weight. These are compliments she doesn't hear every day, and that's why they stick. Here's another secret. Timing matters. If you compliment her every 5 minutes, it becomes routine. But if you drop it when she least expects it, after she achieves something, after she shows vulnerability, or after she reveals a side of herself others overlook, it feels real. That unpredictability keeps her wondering, what will he notice next? And don't forget, delivery. A rushed compliment with no presence is worthless. But when you pause, make eye contact and let your words land, it transforms the moment. A small smile, a slight pause before you say it. That's what makes her heart remember. Now, this doesn't mean you become stingy or cold. It's not about withholding for the sake of playing games. It's about making sure your validation means something. If every word has value, she'll value your words. So, here's the bottom line. Compliment less, but mean it more. Be specific, be intentional, and never worship. Because when you validate a woman without putting her on a pedestal, she doesn't just feel flattered. She feels respected, and respect is what makes attraction last. 5. Delivery. How you say it matters more than what you say. Here's the truth most men never realize. It's not always what you say that matters. It's how you say it. A phrase that could melt her heart, when said slowly, calmly, and with presence, could fall flat if blurted out nervously. Delivery is the secret ingredient that turns ordinary words into unforgettable ones. Think about music for a second. The same lyric sung by two people can feel completely different. One voice makes you skip the song, the other gives you goosebumps. Why? Delivery. It's tone, pacing, pauses, and emotion. The same is true in conversation with women. Let's say you want to tell her, "I feel calm around you." If you rush it out while checking your phone, it's meaningless. But if you lean back, look at her, pause for half a second, then say it slowly. "You know what? I just feel calm when I'm with you." That lands. She feels it in her chest. Delivery signals confidence. A man who speaks with steady tone and controlled pacing is showing that he isn't desperate, isn't nervous, isn't trying too hard, he's grounded. And women pick up on that instantly. It makes her feel like she can trust you because your energy is stable. Now, here's where many men fail. They overcompensate. They try to sound too smooth, too scripted, like they rehearsed in front of a mirror. But women aren't drawn to performance. They're drawn to authenticity. If you say the perfect line, but your tone feels fake, she disconnects. But if you say something simple, even imperfect, with genuine emotion, it will hit harder than any line you memorized. Pauses are another secret weapon. Most men fear silence, so they fill it with endless words. But silence makes your words stronger. A pause before your final phrase builds anticipation. It makes her lean in, waiting to hear what's next. And when you finally say it, the impact doubles. Eye contact is part of delivery too. Not the creepy stare that makes her uncomfortable, but calm, steady eye contact that shows you mean every word. Add a slight smile, a shift in your tone, and suddenly your words are not just sentences, they're experiences. Here's something most men never think about. Your body language delivers just as much as your mouth. Crossed arms, fidgeting, slouched posture, they all weaken your message. But open posture, relaxed shoulders, and stillness amplify it. Stillness is power. It tells her, "I don't need to prove myself with noise." So yes, delivery is everything. You could say the most profound compliment in the world. But if your voice shakes, if your tone is rushed, if your body screams insecurity, it won't matter. And on the flip side, you could say something as simple as, "I like this moment." And if your delivery is calm and authentic, she'll remember it forever. Bottom line, stop focusing only on what to say. Start focusing on how to say it. Because when your words are delivered with calmness, confidence, and presence, no woman will resist them. 6. Presence. The rare skill that makes her stay hooked. Presence is the final piece, and maybe the most powerful one. Presence means you're fully there, not half in your phone, not rehearsing your next line, not distracted by who just walked by, but fully tuned in as if nothing else matters in that moment except the person in front of you. Why is presence so magnetic? Because it's rare. In today's world, everyone's attention is scattered. People talk while scrolling. They nod while thinking of something else. Women are used to men pretending to listen, but not really hearing. So, when a man is actually present, when she feels that she has 100% of his attention, it stands out. It feels safe. It feels real. Presence isn't about saying a lot. In fact, the more present you are, the less you feel the need to fill the air with words. You can let her talk, let her breathe, and actually listen. Not the kind of listening where you're waiting to jump in with your story, but the kind where you lean in, notice the details, and even catch the things she doesn't say. That kind of listening makes a woman feel seen on a deeper level. Here's a story to picture it. Imagine she's telling you about her childhood. Most guys would let their mind drift, nodding, waiting for a chance to talk about themselves. But the man with presence, he asks, "What was that like for you?" He notices her pause before she answers. He sees the shift in her tone, and maybe he says, "I noticed you hesitated before you said that. What were you thinking?" That one observation shows her you're not just hearing, you're understanding. And that's rare. Presence is also about energy. If your body is jittery, your eyes are wandering. Your focus is split, she feels it. But if you're calm, steady, and locked in on her, she feels something else. Importance. Presence tells her you matter right now. And that's one of the deepest needs in female psychology, to feel important to someone who doesn't give that energy to just anyone. Here's the secret: presence doesn't mean worship. It doesn't mean you hang on her every word like she's a goddess. It means you value the exchange. You're not giving her your presence because you're desperate. You're giving it because that's who you are. A man who lives in the moment. A man who listens. A man who isn't dragged around by distractions. Women associate presence with strength. A man who is fully there signals control, maturity, and confidence. And because it's so rare, it becomes addictive. She won't just enjoy talking to you. She'll crave it. She'll replay the moments where you were fully there. Because in a world full of noise, you were silent enough to actually hear her. So remember this: you don't need perfect words. You don't need endless compliments. Sometimes the most irresistible thing you can give a woman is your full, undivided presence. That's what makes your words unforgettable. That's what makes you unforgettable. If you felt this opened your eyes, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit the like button, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And make sure to subscribe, because here on Stoic Tips, we break down the truths about attraction and psychology that most men never get.